What's up, everybody? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt a deep urge to stay in control, not to dominate, but because you feel like your safety or even your stability or your self worth depends on you being in control, you driving the ship, you steering the wheel, or maybe you found yourself stepping up to manage everything because no one else can quite seem to get things done like you can? What if the need to control wasn't a flaw, but a sign of your inner drive to protect, to provide, and to create security in a world that, let's be honest, can often feel very unpredictable? Welcome to Successful, where I help ambitious founders, leaders, and coaches eliminate resistance and gain clarity in their decision making so they can take bold, aligned action without draining their energy or second guessing themselves. If you're new here, be sure to check out my free Successful Signals training to discover your human design type and strategy. You'll find the link in the description below. All right, so today we're going to explore Gate 21, the gate of control in human design. This gate brings the energy of resource management, of responsibility, and the drive to maintain structures. But beneath all of that, the strength is often a deep need for safety, a deep want for autonomy, and for trust, especially trust, you guessed it, in others. So let's explore how Gate 21 shapes our relationship with power, with provision, and with our ability to lead from confidence rather than control. Gate 21, the gate of control, or also known as the hunter or huntress. In astrology, this is Aries. In tarot, this is strength. In I Ching, this is Shin-Ho, which is biting through. And the location of this gate is in the ego will center, also known as the heart center. And it is reaching up towards the throat center. And this circuit is the tribal ego circuit. So, in essence, what do we have here with Gate 21? It's bringing a drive to manage, to protect, and really control our resources, whether that's time, whether that's money, or just our energy in general, or there's different responsibilities that we have. And it thrives when we can take charge, or we can set up our boundaries to make sure things are running smoothly. But this gate can also teach us a powerful lesson about control. And that is, control is really its healthiest when it's rooted in self-trust, not out of fear, and that we can actually have the feeling of safety with others, letting others be in control instead of us having to do everything. If you have this gate, you may feel responsible for the well-being of others, for your loved ones, or for the team. But when that energy is overextended, it can lead to overwork, it can lead to micromanagement, and it can also lead to burnout. When this energy is activated, this gate empowers us to take aligned action, particularly making sure that we honor our own capacity, making sure our battery is at a place where we can actually give the output, making sure our cup is full, putting on our mask first before we help others. And then we're able to lead with strength. And then we're also able to lead as a sovereign leader. So this week, we're going to reflect and meditate on, are we holding on to things too tightly because we don't trust others and we're not feeling safe to release things, or because we don't feel safe letting go? And where in our lives or are we managing more so out of love? And where are the places in our lives where we want to get rid of managing from fear? One of the things that I'm working on is not managing my son or raising my son and my niece out of fear. I want to do things out of love. But when Ethereal is having a tantrum, sometimes that could be very difficult. Also this week, what boundaries would help us feel empowered and supported instead of being drained? In human design, Gate 21 sits in the ego or the will center, also known as the heart center. And this is the home of willpower, material resources, and personal value. So it teaches us that the G center governs or It teaches us that the ego center, which governs our love and direction, and when it's paired with gate 45 coming from the throat center, it creates the channel of money. And this is a powerful energy about managing resources, leading tribes, and handling our communal business and even not just regular business responsibilities. This channel is all about material support and sustainable leadership. And so this reflects the energy of someone who is here to take charge of resources, but only when they are recognized and trusted to do so. And this gate also teaches us that authority requires structure and surrender, knowing when to lead and knowing when to release that control. For me this week, or I should say for my wife and myself this week, she has gate 45. So we've been leaning into our activities around making sure that our resources, in this case, the money coming into our businesses, are in a place that we're okay with, and just reviewing finances in general, and also being just thankful for the state of our the opportunities we've been offered in the past, month or so. And also, looking at getting back to a regularly scheduled money date as we used to do, something that we fell off of, but leaning into that energy this week of gate 21 and then the entire channel of gate 21 and 45. She has gate 45. So we are taking advantage of the whole channel in our household this week. So in shadow and the darker side of this energy and its lowest expression, this can really become controlling. We may become perfectionists, and we may also be very resentful of others, especially when they're not meeting the expectations or the things that we've outlined for them to accomplish. We may also feel like if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. They're not going to do it as good as we're going to do it. And that can really lead us to be more in isolation and to be exhausted. This week, you may also struggle with micromanaging or overworking or just really taking on too much responsibility when you can't quite handle it. And we may also resist giving out tasks to others or delegating just from the simple fact that we don't trust them. And we can also feel like our self-worth is really tied up into how much we control. And, that can be seen as a sign of power, or we believe it can be seen as a sign of power. But, if we take on too much and we're overburdened and we can't follow through on what we've said that we were going to commit to, that could also not be the best look as well. The higher side of this energy, when it's aligned, when it's enlightened, this gate can bring a calm, confident leadership. And so this is the kind of leadership that manages with clarity. It also sets strong boundaries, but it also understands that there's a balance in the structure between, or the balance between having a structure, but also surrendering to the will of the structure of the team or whatever it is in the moment that may not quite fit in this picturesque structure that we've built for the situation. Also, in the highest frequency, we may feel a strong desire to actually take the lead, to manage money, or to ensure stability in our own life. Your natural skills at delegating, at organizing, and protecting the community's resources also shine this week with this energy. And so you may have a deep respect for earned authority, and you want to be seen as trustworthy and dependable when we have this energy with us here this week. This gate is also here to teach us that control comes from knowing what's yours to hold on to and what is yours to release. That is probably the biggest area of this gate, really knowing like what can we control and what is out of our control. There's a famous prayer, Christian prayer, that talks about holding on to things, or Lord, let me know what I can control and let me know what I can't control is the summary of that. But basically, just letting ourselves know, or telling ourselves that, hey, sometimes we can't control everything and we can do everything in our power to try, but some things are just out of our control, and to have more awareness about that. So this week, me and my wife, as I mentioned, are looking at things that we can control in our current situation. And I'm looking at different areas of the business. Here, looking at my YouTube channel, where can I improve? What are some things I can control? And what are some of the things that, I can just let go and not have to worry about? This gate strategy is projected. So what that means is our ability to lead and manage most effectively this week is going to be when this energy, and we are invited and are recognized. So trying to take control without invitation can lead to resistance, which we're here to eliminate. And so waiting for our energy, our ideas, our leadership to be recognized for Gate 21 allows us to have a type of leadership that lands with trust, and it also has a deeper impact. How can we work with this energy this week for Gate 21? Number one, we can create systems that support us so we don't have to hold everything ourselves. Build structures, whether that's electrical system, whether that's family system, whether that's the school system, that build structures that allow you to lead without burning out. Gate 21, the gate of control, teaches us that leadership begins with trust in ourselves, trust in our systems, and trust in the people around us. We're not here to carry everything on our own. We are here to lead from a place of strength and clarity and sovereignty. So when we release the need to prove ourselves and we anchor ourselves in self-trust, control transforms from a survival mechanism into something more sacred and a act of stewardship of our communities and of ourselves. We become the kind of leaders who protect our presence, who build with each other, and we also build with purpose. Now, I would love to hear from you. Do you carry Gate 21, or has control been a theme in your life? And where are you learning to lead from trust instead of fear? And are you being called to release control, to delegate more, or maybe build stronger systems around you? Drop your reflections in the comments below. Your story might be the mirror someone else needs to feel seen, supported, or inspired to just let go. That is it for Gate 21. Peace.